Picking your first online business idea is one of the hardest parts when you're starting your journey. You're probably thinking, what if I pick the wrong one? Am I going to waste a huge amount of time doing this? I totally get it. I spent fucking ages trying to find my first business idea. So in this video, I'm going to show you a simple framework that will work for you, helping you find your first business idea. So you can finally take some action instead of just thinking about it. When I hit my 40s, I knew I wanted to get out of the 9 to 5 grind. You all know that from my previous videos, but I was stuck at the very first step, which was, what business should I launch? Firstly, I had no confidence whatsoever. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what to do. Should I launch digital products? Should I go into e-commerce, freelancing? At the time, I didn't even know what a SaaS was. I wasted a couple of months overthinking this instead of actually acting on it. Looking back now, it was a complete waste of time. I didn't need to do any of that. So the turning point came for me when I realized I didn't need to have a perfect idea. I just needed to have that starting point. So once I tested something, I would get clarity to decide whether it's worth pursuing or not. So today I'm going to give you that same clarity in a simple framework that I wish I had a few months ago. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It means the absolute world to me. Okay, it'll literally take you 1 second. Please, it makes all the difference. It just shows that I'm actually doing something that's worth my while doing this. So the framework. So firstly, you need to play to your strengths. If you're like me and you're over 40, chances are you've got 15, 20 years of solid experience behind you. Now, whether that's in your career, your hobbies, or just generally life, that's a good thing. It just shows you've got a huge amount to offer. You're not past it. You've actually got the advantage over a 20 or even a 30-year-old because you've got that experience, you've got that life skill. You can pass that down to the next generation. Most 20-year-old entrepreneurs have to start from scratch. You don't. You've got the experience. You've got the life skills that they're crying for. So take advantage of it. Don't have a pity party and think, oh, I'm too old for this. I can't do this. No one wants to see me. Bullshit. You've got a huge amount to offer, and just remember that. To be honest, it pisses me off when people say, I'm too old for this. I can't do this. No one wants to see me. Who's to say that? It's not illegal to make YouTube videos over the age of 40. For me, to be honest, it's a prime time to do it. So now we've got that out of the way, you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, what tasks do people ask me for help with? That's the first thing you need to ask. Number 2, what tasks feel natural to me but can not necessarily feel natural to others? And number 3, what topics can you talk about for hours and hours without getting bored? Okay, I know mine. Mine's easy. I love talking about investing. I love talking about business, finance. I'm not necessarily hugely educated in it, but I just find the whole thing fascinating. There's other things that I've got which I could spend hours talking about. Carp fishing, which bores the shit out of most people, but I love talking about it. I find it really interesting. It's a hobby of mine. Football as well, another one. There's loads of things, okay? Loads of things that you could think of. Certainly loads of things that I can think of. So let's just come up with some examples. If you've been working in sales for the last 20 years, you could run a sales course, something like that. If you've got 20 years of experience of sales, you could quite easily build a course. There's loads of apps out there that help you build a course, or just use ChatGPT or something like that. Another example is if you're a very organized person, naturally very organized, you could create a tool or some sort of app or SaaS based on productivity or organization for a certain niche, even over 40-year-olds, or for men, women, or anything like that. That's just another example. It doesn't even have to be career based. It could be on your hobbies or your lifestyle. For example, fitness. If you're a fitness freak, you could quite easily start your own fitness app or learn to become a trainer, some sort of personal trainer. There's tons of stuff. We've all got hobbies. We've all got passions. It really is endless possibilities. There's not really any excuses. Okay, so write down your top 5 skills. The important thing is, don't judge them. You might look at them and think, oh, fucking hell, no one's going to want to know about that, or no one's going to want to know about this. I can guarantee you now, there is someone out there, or probably a huge amount of people, that actually want to know about that. They're crying for someone to give them experience or educate them in that topic. So the second thing you need to consider is you need to solve real problems. Don't just try and do something that involves something fun or exciting. You need to actually solve pain points for people. You need to solve their problems. People will pay you to solve their problems. They won't pay you for something that just you think sounds fun or exciting. So now you need to ask yourself several questions. Who is it you want to help? Now, with me, I'm obviously helping people over the age of 40, like myself. You could be trying to help parents or small business owners. There's a huge amount of people out there that need help. Then you need to ask yourself what their frustrations are. What's their pain points? What are they willing to pay for? And then you can ask, how can I use my skills to solve their issues? So for example, you could be thinking that you want to write a blog about traveling the world. Instead of doing that, think about writing a blog about how to travel being parents and traveling with small children. Okay, because I know parents will probably pay for that because it's a pain point. It's extremely stressful. I've done it myself. But if you're writing a guide on how to travel and how to be organized going on holiday or vacation or whatever with small kids, okay, you've got a business there. Another example, instead of just saying, I want to build a SaaS, you need to find a specific pain point that you want to build a SaaS for. For example, my SaaS that I'm currently building is a YouTube thumbnail road testing, like A/B tester, which basically helps identify which thumbnail will work better for the video that I'm putting on YouTube, because currently I haven't got a fucking clue. I'm designing my thumbnails in Canva. I'm putting out there what I think would work, but if I had a system where I could design multiple thumbnails and have them rotating, say every hour, every couple of hours, and then have clear data what thumbnail is working best, that solves a problem. Okay, that solves a problem that I have. So you need to make sure that if you want to build a SaaS, you've got to solve a specific problem and something that people are willing to pay for. That's the most important thing. How do you find these real world problems? There's actually quite a few ways you can find them. Firstly, you can go on Reddit. There's loads of groups in Reddit. For example, so with mine, I went into a YouTube Reddit group, and I had a lot of people in there complaining about their thumbnails, why they weren't getting views. So I jumped to that opportunity. Again, there's subreddits for pretty much any topic that you can think of. So scan Reddit, that's a really good place to start. Secondly, you can go into YouTube videos, look in the comments. There's always people complaining in the comments. That's, again, another good research tool. And then thirdly, Facebook groups. That's something I haven't done yet, but I've been told it's really good. You can join loads of Facebook groups about, again, there's Facebook groups about pretty much every topic, every niche out there. Spend a bit of time researching those groups, join the groups, get in with some people, find out what their issues are. And that way you're essentially validating your idea, and then you can start building it. And the final step, and this is something that I've preached before, it was in several of my videos, okay? You need to start small before you commit. I wasted months building my first SaaS, okay? I spent days on buttons and the UI and everything like that, and it's just not needed. Build a landing page of the product for the products that you're building, explain what it does, and then post that into the subreddit Reddit groups, into the Facebook groups, and that way people will come back and say whether they're interested or will be willing to pay for that product. Okay, get that validation first. It's absolutely essential. Time is money, and especially if you're like me and you're working full time, you don't have the time to sit there and waste hours and hours or days and days on something that you have no idea whether or not it's going to work or not. That is absolutely key here. You have to do that. And I know it's really tempting to just keep building and building, but honestly, if there's one thing you're going to take from this video, take this, because it's so important. You have to validate that idea first. And this advice isn't just about for SaaSes as well. So for example, if you're building an online course, you need to outline the modules, get your friends to have a look at it and see if they're willing to pay for it, or again, put it in the group saying, if you're thinking of building this course, here's the modules that I'm going to be putting in the course. Would you be willing to pay for that? Is that something you'd like to learn? If someone comes back and says yes, or multiple people come back and say, yeah, that sounds great, I would pay this amount of money for that, then it's a goer. Equally, if you're offering a coaching service, then maybe offer a callback to a few people in exchange for feedback. Okay, all of this is essential because, like I said before, you need to get that validation before you start really progress with the building. Okay, so that just about covers everything that I want to say in this video. But there's something that I want you to remember, is that the first idea doesn't have to be the final idea. This is just a stepping stone. Your first business doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take off. It might be 2 or 3 attempts, might be 5 or 6 attempts, I don't know, but you're building skills and confidence, okay, and that will lead to bigger and better things. My first SaaS failed, but it's given me the skills and the knowledge to be able to progress with my next one. The worst mistake isn't choosing the wrong idea, it's actually not doing anything at all and just being stuck in your 9 till 5 grind and not doing anything about it. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is to start today. I'm off to crack open a beer and I'm going to crack on with my SaaS, do a bit of X and edit this video, which is the one thing that I really hate doing, to be honest. I love doing the recording side of it, but the editing side is quite painful. But anyway, I'll crack on with it, hopefully get it live in the next day or two. I'll see you all soon.